Isa. Isa.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, guys. Welcome. I'm just letting people in. Oh, there we go. So we've got a few people entering. Okay, please make sure just while we're waiting that the name that's displayed on screen is the right name for you, because there's a couple of you that I'm not quite sure who you are. Most of you are good. We know most of you. Oh, look at this. We've got some awesome people on today. Look at all those awesome faces. Welcome, guys. I have a special treat for me today. I have help. That's fantastic. So Mr. Sapir's going to take the warm up in a moment, but first let's get bowed in. Sit up. And kill it. Take a what? Raise your right hand and recite the tenets. Saju, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit, and recite the student note. Yourself, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a peaceful world. Bottle. If just one note, if you've got a virtual background on, turn it off. Kenny, you'll need to turn your virtual background off, otherwise we can't see you. You'll just be a floating belt in space, and that's not very useful to give you feedback. Now, I need to find, where's Mr. Sapir? So I can share him. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, I'm going to spotlight Mr. Sapir. And you ready, sir?
Thanks, sir.
Face Mr. Sapir, killing it. Okay, he's got the warm up. Away we go, sir. All yours.
Nice to meet you guys. I'm sorry I haven't taught a lot of you before, but hopefully we can still work together. Put your hand up if you've done any free sparring before, if you know what I mean by free sparring. Anyone know? Yeah, was it fun? Did you have a good time? I know I really love free sparring. I really miss doing it in lockdown. So I made a warm up that's kind of based on some stuff that you would be doing in free sparring. So everybody hop in a fighting stance. See what you can do. So hop in a fighting stance. Start bouncing gently. Yeah. Shift forward. Shift back. Okay, when we shift to this side, we're going to put our front foot a little bit this way, and then we're going to use it to push ourselves across. So it's like we're almost going this way, and then we go this way. Okay, can you guys try that? Shift. Other way is the same thing. Put my foot a little bit this way, and then I shift across. Try that one now. Cool. And the last movement that you need to know is a switch. You just switch your feet over as quick as possible. Like that. Give that one a try. This was really fun. Can you do it backwards? Hey? All right. Now you guys are going to copy exactly what I do, okay? Try to keep up. Forward. Back. This way. This way. Forward. Back. Switch. Forward. This way. This way. Forward. Back. Back again. Forward again. This way. Okay, guys, now when we move forward, we're going to add in just one punch, okay? So move forward, punch, and then recover. Ready? Forward. Back. Switch. Forward. To the side. forward, back, this side, switch, forward. Okay, something a little more tricky now to get your legs warmed up a bit more. When we move forward, pick your leg up and do a kick. I'm doing a side kick, but if you want, you can do a turning kick if that's easier for you, or even you can do something like a front kick. Point is, you're getting your legs up and we're getting moving, right? Bouncing, forward, back, sideways, other side, switch, forward, forward, back, to the side, other side, switch, forward, forward, to the side, back, forward. Okay, the last one. Now this is a little tricky. When we move back, we're gonna try to imagine that we have an opponent who's coming at us and we need to stop them. So when you move back, you turn over a little bit and you put up a kick behind you, okay? If you are a yellow belt, I can see we have a couple yellow belts or higher, you can do a back kick where you switch your legs, okay? But if not, don't worry about that. Just do a kick to stop someone who's charging at you, okay? Ready, pouncing. So you do it when I say back. Back. This way. Forward. This way. Forward. Ready? Back. This way. This way. Switch. Forward. Back. Okay. Good job, guys. Thank you. That looked great from everyone. Good job.
Is that back to me, Mr. Sapir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now just before I do, where's Xavier? There, cool. I just need to find out which Xavier it was. Okay. Got a couple of Xaviers. And Sam and Ben, you must be joining us from Muay Thai, is that right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Right.
Welcome, guys. It's good to have visitors. Welcome. Thank you, Mr. Sapir. Okay. Sit up. Come in. What a good group we've got tonight. We're going to work through initially some basic movements, and I'm going to throw some different ones at you that we may not have done very often before. We're going to do some fundamental movements. Then we're going to make up some 3-set sparring, and then we'll do some other stuff after that. So first up, parallel ready stance, Sunbi. Now from here, I want you to imagine someone's punching towards you. Reach one hand out, bring your other hand up beside you, and pull the hand inwards towards the middle. This is a forearm inward block. So you pull the other hand out in front of you, and you pull that one back to your hip. Try that. You always want to use two hands. Good, now try the other side. Extend your other hand out, lift the hand up, and pull it in towards you.
Remember to keep your fists closed, guys. Don't open up your hands.
Good. Okay, now from here, let's go one hand, then the other hand. Mr. Sapir is going to be watching you and giving some feedback. Good. Make sure when you finish, that blocking arm is bent in front of you. Okay, so your elbows bent, your arms on a nice little angle. So I'm blocking in this way. My arm comes in towards the center. Go. Now do it in walking stance. Coming in towards the middle this time, Xavier. So start outside your body and come in. Yes, Toby.
Everyone's glitching again.
I think it might be your computer, Toby. Can you go into the same room as Sophia? Is there enough room for both of you there?
Yeah, everyone's coming back.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so that's a forearm inward block. Now try the same thing, but with your knife hand. Do a knife hand inward block. So in my intermediate position, my palm is forwards. And then when I bring it in towards my middle, my hand will twist. So it's facing towards me. Awesome. Now try it in the L stance. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Now another one. This time we'll start in our parallel stance again. We're going to do a palm downward block. So I'm going to start with my hands beside me like this. Extend my non-blocking hand outwards, and my blocking hand is going to make a little arc and stop the height of my solar plexus. Again, I've got to use two hands. So I extend this hand forward and I pull it back when the other hand blocks. Okay, so it makes a little, this hand's making a circle, half a circle, and smashing down on top of the target this way. But I've got to make sure I'm using two hands. Try that. Yes, Mr. Sapir, that's fine. Or what you can do is just refer to them by the name that's on the screen. Make sure you're using two hands, guys. Some of you are just using one hand like this. We're not swimming, we're blocking.
So Andrews, make sure you switch legs when you switch hands. So you use the same side hand, same side leg.
You've got to use two hands for this. Now try it in the walking stance. Make sure you're pulling the other hand back to your hip really fast to help you get good power with the block.
Julian, try to have your arm a little more bent when you finished. It's too straight right now. Make it a little more bent, like so.
Like this. Then you can try an L stance. Same thing. So again, imagine someone's trying to punch you and you step back and you block it downwards.
That looks great, Julian. Well done.
Robin, just bend your arm a little bit. Your arm's quite straight. You want to bend the arm for this. You want it on an angle, like this.
Same for you, Xavier. Try not to make your arm so straight. Keep it nice and bent. It's much faster, and I think you'll feel it's a lot stronger as well when you start doing it that way.
That's it, Ella.
Yeah, that looks much stronger. Well done.
You're blocking downwards. Okay, cool. Now relax. Next one. This time, we're going to block upwards. So we're going to circle the hand around and stick it up. Same bend in the arm. This way. Try that. You can start with both hands out in front of you like this. This one's going to make a big circle, like it's going around a beach ball. And the other one pulls back to my hip. This is a tricky one. I'm testing you now with some challenging stuff. Go around the beach ball and smack the ball up in the air. A balloon's coming down. You hit the balloon up in the air. Stop the height of your solar plexus. That's pretty tricky. This way. Comes up. Good, Colin.
Alex and Nick, make sure you're focusing your power upwards, not forwards. You need to block in the upwards direction. That looks a lot stronger. Good job.
Cool. Okay, now let's do an unusual attack. So this is a green stripe technique. So we've got a couple of green stripes and above here, so you'll know this one. We're going to do a straight fingertip thrust. So this block we just did, the palm downward block, we're going to use that, and at the same time, the other hand's going to go straight over the top, thrusting straight this way, and I'm using my fingertips like this. So I've got to go down with my block and straight over the top with my other hand. It's tricky. Try that. Harper and Kenzie, this is for you. You got to time it so that you block with one hand and thrust over the top with the other. Come on, Ella and JJ, just give it a go. That's it. Now try that and walk in front.
It's looking great.
I want to give you something a little bit more tricky today. Get us thinking.
Mr. Chalatambi, make sure that you're thrusting forward, not downwards. The actual strike needs to be moving in a forwards direction. It's tricky because one arm's moving down and one arm's moving straight. I know. But that's the challenge. I know you can do it. Yeah, that was great, sir. Well done.
Nice. Good stuff. And Gumar. Okay. We're going to do a couple of those blocks that we've done have all gone kind of inward. They've started outside your body and come inward. Palm downward block, palm upward block, and palm a forearm inward block and knife hand inward block. Okay. Now we're going to do a couple of that outward. So crossing on top, just like you cross for a forearm low block. Same cross, smashing two objects together. But we're going to go outwards and block with our knife hand at eye level. Try that. Try that. This technique's used at 3-set sparring for yellow belts.
Sir,
Yes, Christian.
everyone's lagging again, so I'm gonna leave the meeting and go into my sister's thing.
Yeah, go into the same place where your sister's training. Just turn your one off because you're using two lots of internet, it's struggling. That's it. Okay, now try crossing on top and blocking with your forearm instead of your knife hand. So this time, keep your fist closed. You can do this at eye level for a high block or at shoulder level for a middle block. Same with the knife hand. It can be eye level for a high block or shoulder level for a middle block.
Sophia, this block moves sideways, not upwards. So make sure you're still sweeping across your body rather than pushing in an upwards direction, even if you are blocking high.
Just demonstrating what Mr. Sapir is saying here, you're blocking across this way. So cross in front of your chest, come across with your block.
Sir,
Yes.
are we doing our fist like this in front or the knife hand?
Now we're doing the forearm. We did the knife hand before, but your arm is bent. Julian, it's a block. Bend your arm for blocking. That's it.
Alex and Nick, we're using a closed fist now, not an open knife hand. Take a look at Sir's technique. The hand is closed because it makes that tool tougher when you're not using your knife hand. Yeah, nice work, guys.
Okay, come on. Okay, look at the variation of stuff we've done. So we've just done a whole lot of blocks. We did forearm inward block. It's named like this because my forearm's coming in towards my center. We've done palm downward block because my palm's moving downward. We've done palm upward block because my palm's coming upward. We've done straight fingertip thrust, which is an attack, but it comes with that palm downward block as well. Thrust over the top. Then we did knife hand side block, which goes outwards, crossing out, and a forearm side block, which is the same thing with the forearm, with the knuckles at eye level or shoulder level, with the fingertip at eye level or shoulder level for high and middle blocks. Okay, cool. There's a good variation of different blocks. Now, we're going to do number 1 of white belt 3, so yellow stripe, yellow belt 3-set sparring. And then after that, you're going to make up your own. The reason we're doing number 1 first is so that everyone knows how 3-set sparring works. So, everyone with me? You're going to need 3 steps forward if you can get them. So try and get an angle where you've got enough room to do 3 walking stances if you can. Otherwise,
get to the back of the room.
From here, parallel ready stance, step back with your right leg and do a walking stance, forearm low block. Ha! With a key up. Go. And now moving forward, 1 punch, middle punch and walking stance. And number 2. Keep your hips and shoulders straight. And number 3. And return to your parallel stance. Let's go back and do that once more. This is the attack. Ha! Good. Now moving forward. Ha! 4. Set. Bottle. Now the attack was a middle punch. So we have to defend against the middle punch. So just key up on the spot first. Pull! And then stepping back, we'll do an inner forearm middle block. Cross underneath. 1, 2, 3. Then counter attack, nice and simple, on the spot. Don't move your feet. Just do your sine wave by bending your knees. And pull! Counter attack with a flat fingers at thrust. Cool. Okay, let's go back and do that defense once more. Ready from here? Pull! And backwards. 1, 2, 3. Pull! And bottle. Okay. And now we'll do the attack, then the defense. Pull! Ready? And attack. 1, 2, 3. Step back, bottle. Pull! And moving backwards. 1, 2, 3. Counter attack. Pull! And step forwards. Okay, so the ready position for attack is always walking stance, forearm low block. And then we step forward doing the same attack 3 times. Okay, same stance, same attack. Then from our ready position, we're going to defend against that same attack. So if it's a high punch, we have to do a high block. If it's a middle punch, we have to do a middle block. If you attack in walking stance, you defend in walking stance. If you attack in L stance, you defend in L stance. So I imagine the same technique coming towards me, and I do the same block. 1, 2, 3 times for the same block, and then I do a counter attack. Okay, so now you are going to create your own 3-step sparring technique with an attack and a matching defense and counter attack. Go. I'm just going to do some different ones to give you some ideas.
If you want to check that you're using the right stances, a really good way is after you finish attacking to not take a break and wander around, but to go straight into your ready stance and then try defending and see if you end up in the same spot. So Jax, when we do a kick in our sparring, you recover into a ready stance in front. So you kick and then you just go into a normal walking stance. You don't do another punch after. Otherwise, you have 6 attacks, and that would be very fair on the defender.
How are we going with our creation, guys?
Perfect, Jax. Well done.
Okay, so Xavier, if you get a bit stuck, just do the same one. Just practice the same one. Okay, if anyone's getting a bit stuck, I'll give you one you can do with me. So we'll do pop, forearm low block, and this time we're going to do a high punch. Everyone who's making up their own, you keep making up your own. Do the same one 4 or 5 times. If you're in trouble, copy me. We're going to do a high punch now. Okay, now to block, I'm going to do a forearm side block. So crossing on top like we did at the end there. Hop. 1, 2, 3. And then to counter attack, I'm going to change to a fixed stance. My flat fingertip thrust with the same hand. Okay, see, I'm doing my own combinations, making your own ones up. Give me a couple of minutes. Nice, Cohen. Just make sure you're crossing on top for the knife hand side block. The knife hand side block, the blocking hand's on top.
I like how creative your technique choices are, but make sure that the height of the attack and the height of the block always match. Sometimes you're doing a high punch and then doing a low block, and that's not going to work. Try to match them up.
Yeah, nice. High punch with low block equals punch in the face.
Okay, so those are high punches. What's a good block for that? Yeah, great choice, sir. Nice counter too. Well done.
And Gaman, for one moment, from all the ones you've just done, I want you to choose your favorite of the ones that you just created and then demonstrate your favorite one for us 3 times. And Mr. Sapir and I are going to look at the video and we're going to see what you've come up with. So choose one, your favorite one, and do the same one about 3 times, and we'll watch the same one 3 times so we can see all the screens and see everyone's going. Ready?
Try not to rush or fidget in between. We want to see them really good.
Yeah, take your time, nice and strong. Ready? 3-set sparring. Ready? Saju. Good, Nick. Nick, just make sure you do it in 2 hands in your punches. Extend the other hand forward and then pull it back when you punch.
Very creative. I'm seeing some front rising kicks being used as a block.
Oh, awesome. Whoa. Who was using that, Mr. Sapir?
Either Harper or Kenzie, sir. I can't tell from this distance.
Look at guys.
Harper.
Oh,
Okay.
nice, Harper.
Well done. Sorry, I can barely tell you guys apart in person. Not very useful online.
Using Chukyamaki, make sure your forearm is over your head. Not here. And come on.
Nice.
Good work, guys.
Good kicks.
Grab a mouthful of water.
Very cool.
Awesome work. So in your syllabus, we have 3-set sparring techniques that you learn. 3-set sparring can be a whole lot of different things. We just give you 3 to make it really easy to learn it. Okay, so if you're working with a regular partner and you want to try something different, try something different. Just make sure you practice the same one many, many times. Okay, don't do one and then do a different one, then do a different one, and then be rubbish at all of them. Practice one, practice, and make it look awesome. And then go on to the next one. Okay, so 3-set sparring can be really fun when you create. 3-set sparring is designed for junior grades. So you don't do flying kicks in 3-set sparring. The blocks and attacks don't get very fancy. It's all really, really simple stuff, getting your distances and things right. Okay, awesome. Now, last class, we did a little bit of work on using your big muscles around your abdomen and your tummy and your glutes to try and develop power. So we were doing things like relax, 1, 2, and explode. So we're going to do a little bit of a refresher, and then I want to see you apply what we've learned to saju, jirugi, and saju, makgi. First up, I want to see everyone stand with your hands up by your brain. Hands up by your brain. Now, you're not going to use your hands. I want to see you step into a walking stance, creating power with your hip. That acceleration of your hip. Just go left and right. So you turn that hip at the last moment to explode into the movement. Show me that, left and right. Keep your foot nice and close to the ground. It just glides along the ground. And then at the last 5 or 10 centimeters, the hip explodes. I'll do it sideways for you. Nice, Cohen. Cool. Starting to get it. It's good. Okay. So my foot can reach out. My hip stays behind a little bit. And then boom, my hip drops. Okay. Now add your forearm low block to it. Nice, Sapir. Remember, hands in front of chest and relax. Down for your sine wave. As you rise up, you cross. And then as you drop down, boom, you explode.
Try not to twist so far that you have to twist back the other direction once you're finished. You should twist just to the point where you want to stop and stop there. No point in going more. That's wasted energy.
You should finish precisely at the end of the movement, as Mr. Sapir just said. So don't go past your blocking position. Explode and then stop.
Nice, Xavier.
Good. That's it, Robin, looking good. And come on, watch the screen for a moment. So what we're working on is the difference between this, where it's all arm, and this, where it's arm and hip. Okay, so you don't want everything moving at the same pace like this. My hip's not doing any work. I want to explode my hip. Try a couple more each side. Go. Try with your inner forearm middle block. Explode the hip. Okay, Ben and Sam, I just need to work out which one's which. Sam, can you raise your hand for me? Okay, cool, thank you. So, Sam, when you're doing the movements, just try and do, the hip should move before your hand, and then your hand catches up. So I go, hip, hand, right? So they're not moving at the same speed, not going hip and hand together, hip and hand together. My hip starts a little bit before my hand, and then my hand has to go super fast to catch up. Okay, try that. See if that makes sense. Okay, and come on. Now let's do 4-direction punch and 4-direction block. And I want you to think about trying to add the power of your hip. Mr. Sapir is going to give feedback. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to slow it down a little bit. So we're going to take time between the movements, but each movement's going to be nice and strong. Ready?
Make sure you start in the middle of the room, guys. Otherwise, you'll run out of space on one of the sides.
4-direction punch, Right side. This foot's going to move. This foot stays where it is. In time with me. Stop. Well, some of you worked a little bit too fast. Check your stance. Make sure your stance is nice and long. I'm slowing it down a little bit so that you have time to finish your movements. Both feet forward. Manus, try and make your train tracks with your feet. Both hips forwards. So imagine there's train tracks the width of your shoulders.
Mr. Latambi, you should be facing to the side right now, not forward.
And bottle.
That's the finishing position, in case you're confused.
Left side. This foot's going to move. Stop. Now formation block. Right side. This foot's going to move. Step back first.
Back to Jumbi, guys. Get ready.
Sorry, bottle. And stop. Bottle. So we're slowing it down a little bit to try and give us more time to use our power to explode with that hip. And now the left side. This foot moves. Stop.
Alex and Nick, get ready. Come on, Alex and Nick, you guys are missing this.
Bottle.
Really nice power, Mr. Andrews.
Cool, good work. Okay. Come on, Santiago, get on your feet. Don't be a lazy monkey. Now, white belts, those who have not got yellow stripe yet, you're going to do formation block both sides. Formation block both sides. Yellow stripes, you're going to be with me doing chonjito, chonji. Those of you who are above yellow stripe, I want you to perform your own pattern, but do it the same pace we just did, formation punch and formation block. So you can think about how to get the power from your hips into your movement. Take your time and get your movement strong. Mr. Sapir is going to provide feedback again while I'm doing chonji with the yellow stripes. Now remember, as we do with limited space, if you run out of space, do a good strong movement, then adjust your position, and then do the next movement. Okay? Don't do little bitty stances to try and fit in a little space. Move your body and then do the next movement. So I'll slow it down a little bit to allow people to make room. Okay, those with me, chonjito. Those below yellow stripe, formation block both sides. Just keep going until we say stop. And yellow belts and above, your own pattern. Big. She jump. Santiago, you should be doing formation block.
Chonji.
Harper and Kenzie, for movements 7 and 8, which is where you spin and then you strike across, make sure you're hitting with the back of your fist, not with your forearm. It's not another forearm block. That's a back fist side strike. So you have to imagine the back of your knuckles striking through someone's head.
And yellow stripes bottle. And everyone repeat in your own time. I'll help Mr. Sapir with feedback. Take your time, get good strong movements, good strong stances.
Same pattern, guys.
If you have any questions about your pattern, you can unmute and ask. Otherwise, practice your pattern. Go. Come on, JJ and Ella, on your feet.
Julian, make sure your opposite hand comes back to your hip and not to the middle of your body. It should always come and touch your belt if it's not punching. It's a really good way to keep track. Just have the opposite fist rest on your belt. So there it's a bit too high. Lower the opposite fist onto your belt. No, your hand, you're using the right hand, but the hand that's not punching, make sure it's on your belt, not floating around in space. Okay? Give it a try. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's the right position. Well done.
Okay, Ella and JJ, you should be doing four direction block.
Yeah, nice. So
You're doing
just
four
like
direction
that.
block. Good, Finlay. Down when you turn.
Yo, I'm seeing a bit of Chong Mu down here.
Ah, okay.
John G.
Ben, we've got our junior grades. Keep going. We've got our junior grades in our, our senior grades in our 6 o'clock class. So you might find the 6 o'clock class is better than the 5 o'clock class for you. Do try and pierce that flying side piercing kick rather than flick it. So it can make a bit like a turning kick.
Robin, make sure those knife hand side strikes are half facing, not rotating your shoulders all the way around so the hand ends up in front. The hand should be extended beside you. That'll get you a lot more power.
Not going to make reasons not to do your job, okay? Okay.
Okay, 1 more minute, and we move on to the next activity. Okay, Ben, just watch a couple of things, a couple of quick things for you. For your turning kick, back piercing kick. First up, after your turning kick, your feet should be down facing this way, not turning kick, turn and face your back to the opponent. Okay, so you've actually got to pivot in the back piercing kick. So you do your dodo chagi and then put your feet down here. So you pivot in your back piercing kick. Second thing, when you do your back piercing kick, arch your body over and look over your shoulder. Then you can explode into the kick. That's better. So don't try and keep your head up. Your head up bows your back. You actually want to crouch your head over and look over the shoulder out of the corner of your eye. So you can curve your back this way, not this way. Okay, you don't want your back down like this. You want your back up a little bit like the back piercing kick here. So I'm crouching over like a little ball and then boom, explode with the back piercing kick. You can straighten your leg right out. If you're trying to stay too upright, your kick's going to rise. You've got to lean over a little bit so you can go straight back. It has to go straight back. So lean, curl your back up like a little ball. And then from here, straight back. You're a bit too upright there, Ben. You're trying to go from here and then kick, and then your kick's curling like this. You actually want to here be curled over already. So you can go straight back. That's better. It's better. Remember that kick should be shoulder height. Okay, not belt height. So you've got to lean. You have to lean.
Upper and Kenzie, make sure you sit more in those sitting stances. Your legs are a little bit too straight. That'll help you balance better too, to be honest.
And come on.
Makes it a lot stronger.
Okay, grab a mouthful of water. If you've got any questions, unmute and ask your questions. So far today, we've worked on a number of different blocks and a different attack. We did 3-set sparring and created some of your own 3-set sparring. And then we reviewed using the hip to develop power and put that into our patterns. So hopefully you're starting to feel it doesn't matter what your pattern movement is, you can find where to explode with the hips. There are some movements that senior patterns where you can't use the hip, like sang pomak maki. Because your hands are going in opposite directions, I can't rotate my hip for power. That just drops straight down and uses only sine wave. Okay, but generally you want to think, where can I use my hip? Boom, explode with my hip. Okay, now, like we did in class yesterday, for those of you who came to class yesterday, we're going to play a little bit with how to use that hip when you're developing kicks. We did more of this in class yesterday, but we're going to do a really quick overview for you today. So from here, we're going to start with side piercing kick. Side piercing kick, remember you have to pivot your supporting foot, lift your knee and foot, and then you can stamp and think about how you're curling your body up and then extending your body using your hip. So I don't want you to kick high. I want you to keep your kicks quite low. But from here, lift and pivot and explode into the kick. And then come down. Go, try that left and right. Try to keep that top shoulder open. When you do jirugi, try not to do this with your shoulder. You want to try and keep that top shoulder up. And just explode like you're extending your body out. Boom! You're curling it up to a little ball and then exploding it out. It's just like stamping on the ground. This motion. Just try this motion gently now. That gents don't stamp on the ground at home, but just show me the motion of stamping. Lift your knee and stamp straight down. Then you're doing the same thing in the air. This way. Okay, try that. Left and right. Smash out that kick. Lift your knee. Jacks, your right leg's looking really good. Your left leg, you've just got to lift that knee a bit higher. Don't let the knee come from here. You've got to lift it. Lift your knee. Nice, Cohen. That's it, Finlay. Just lean a little bit more. You'll find it a bit easier. And then explode out. That's it. Yes, Finlay. Kenny, where are you? I can see your ceiling, not your head. Come on, let's see it. Let's show me those kicks. If you can angle your camera a little bit more, Kenny, it'll be a little bit easier. Yeah, that's good. That's better.
Guys, if you need to go slower to avoid rolling your shoulder over, it's better to do that. There's no point rushing your kick and then spinning your shoulder the wrong way. You need to try to keep your shoulder open so you're still facing the direction you're kicking, more or less. You don't want to be facing away from your kick for sure. You'll lose a lot of power that way. It's definitely not worth it.
Watch the angle of your foot, Julian. Your foot's sticking up when you're kicking. It should be slightly down so that we can kick with the edge of the foot. It's here.
Oh, it's a little bit down.
A little bit down. Yours is sticking up a little bit. Your toes are sticking up.
Max, it's really good to see you pivoting. Make sure you pivot on the ball of your foot, which is the front of your foot, not on your heel. It'll make you a lot more balanced.
Xavier, something that'll help you.
Yeah, like that.
Bring
No,
the
that was
other
heel
leg up
again.
on your head.
Go up on like your tiptoes when you pivot and then sit down again.
Xavier, the leg that's not.
Yeah,
pivoting,
like that. That
bring
kind of
the hand up
motion
on
will
your
give you a
head.
lot more stability. Yeah, that was great, sir. Well done.
That's it, here. Helps a lot with balance. Good, okay, nice. Now let's try the same thing with jirugi, using that hip. So do a little wind up, hip, knee, ball, foot. So from here, hip, knee, ball of the foot. Everything together. I don't want to bring my leg up, have my hip stop, and then just stick my leg out. There's no power in doing that. So from here, from my L stance, the foot that's on the ground has to turn sideways. I have to lift my knee, pivot, and then hip, knee, ball of the foot, all in one motion. Try that. Make sure it all flows together. Watch the foot position. Foot's again pointing slightly downward. So this is a snapping motion. Side piercing kick was a stamping motion. This one is a snapping motion, or whipping motion. How you going there, Robin? Let's see it.
Careful with that foot angle again, Julian. It's pointing up a little bit. This one's the same way, pointing down just slightly.
Try the other leg for me, Robin. That leg's
Tricky. I know it's tricky. Don't worry.
Try the other leg.
Sit. Okay. Now, come on. Everyone watch this way. Stand flat on the ground like this. Now try and lift your big toes off the ground. And the ball of your foot off the ground. So I'm going from a flat position like this to pulling up like this. So the only part of my foot that's touching the ground is the outside edge of my foot. That's what we use for our side piercing kicks. And it's that same position that I use for turning kicks to get the ball of the foot in. I'll come around so you can see a camera angle here. Okay, go. Watch that foot position. Get with the ball of the foot. Okay, now Ben and Sam, try and get the hip behind it. So it's going hip, knee, foot. So don't stop your hip. If you lift your leg off the ground and then kick, you're only getting power from your leg. It comes from the ground, one motion. Hip, knee, foot, all together. Try and feel that your foot is supported by the power of your hip. Hip, knee, foot.
Mr. Andrews, try to lift up your knee a little bit earlier. You don't want to have an upwards motion in your kick. You want to get your knee up nice and early so all the power will be going along a horizontal plane. So it's flat. Don't have any of that diagonal action in your kick.
Cool.
Yeah, that looks better. Try to make the kick flat.
And come on. Okay, now we're going to do one more. This time, I want you to face sideways to the camera for me. Then you're going to arch your body over and bring your hands out to the side, like an airplane, like a bad bow. Then bring one leg up and go straight behind you. Explode with your hip. And down. You've got to lean your body over. If you don't lean your body, you can't straighten your leg very well, or it'll rise up. Lean over, lift, and stamp straight back.
This is another piercing kick, guys. That's why it's a stamping action. So make sure you're not snapping it back. It needs to stay out there for just a second, and then you pull it back.
Cool, thanks, Mr. Sapir. It's a stamping motion, as Mr. Sapir says, just like the side piercing kick. This time it's going straight behind you. Your foot position's angled a little bit more down than it is for a side piercing kick, but it uses the same tool. It uses your foot sword.
Jax, try to hold it still when you have it extended. Don't snap it straight back. Yep. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's great, Jax. Good job.
Alex, you got to lean over a little bit. You're trying to do it with your body upright, and you can't extend your leg this way. You have to arch your body over, lift up, and then stamp back. So it goes straight back. Sam, try and arch over a little bit before you kick out. Come on, watch for a moment. Some of you are trying to stand upright, then lift your leg and bend over and kick at the same time. And what's happening is your legs kind of rising up this way because you're not leaning over enough. My back's arched the wrong way. So from here, if I lean over a little bit as I lift, it's much easier for my leg to go straight back. You have to lean. You can't do this with your body up. It doesn't work. You can't bend that way. Bodies don't work like that. So I've got to lean. Go. Facing sideways, I can see your legs much better. Mr. Sapir and I can give you better feedback. Good, Jax. Just look over the kicking shoulder. So when you're kicking with the right leg, look over your right shoulder. When you kick with the left leg, look over your left shoulder. That's it. Use the corner of your eyes to look over your shoulder.
Julian, try to keep your arms in control. Don't let them all flap around. Try to keep them still when you're kicking. It'll help you balance too, and you might be able to get a higher kick. Yeah, it just looks stronger already. Looks so much better like that.
And come on. Good work, guys. Okay, have a mouthful of water. And come back to your spot. Stretch up to the sky. And hang down to the ground. Breathe deeply. Open your legs out.
This one splits.
Walk your legs back in. One leg behind you. And change. And relax. Okay, tidy your uniform.
Class 38?
Yes, Christian, Julian.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Thank you, guys. You got some good stuff covered in class tonight. We tried to do some little different stuff, so you have some things to learn. Make sure you're writing notes down in your training notebook, drawing little diagrams. Remember how to create 3-step sparring techniques, how to practice using your hip and your power, and I look forward to seeing you at 5 o'clock tomorrow or 5 o'clock on Thursday. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Mr. Sapir. Chut up.
Class 38. Where's my cake? Can you?
Come here. Take one. And Hazard. Good work, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
See you soon, Mr. Sapir.
Bye. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.